So here's the next example. How many terms are needed for the sum 10 plus 15 plus 20, etc., to exceed 400? Okay. What do we know straight away from this? In notation, what letters do we know immediately? A is 10, D is 5, and we're interested in S of n being 400. We actually want to top it, though. If we let it equal 400 to start with. So the S of n formula is n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1d. Now if we set that to be equal to 400 to start with, and let's stick in the values that we know. We don't know what the n is, but I do know that a is 10, so that 2a there will be 20, and this d here is 5. So just by substituting in I get this. What am I going to end up with here? Can anybody see it from this point? Let's go a little bit further. Let's get this big bracket that's in here. I've got 20 plus 5n minus 5 in there. And 20.
Both sides by 2.
Hang on, 1 minute. Sorry, say that again.
Can you just divide both sides by 2?
If I divide both sides by 2, I'm going to have a fraction still over here. It might be a good idea actually to times both sides by 2. Then this 2 down here
sorry, yeah,
will go.
Yes,
times by 2, yeah, okay. Right, can anybody see then what am I going to get here? If I multiply out 5n squared plus 15n equals 800, what is that?
Quadratic.
It's a quadratic, okay. So if you come across a quadratic, what's it usually a good idea to do before you factorise? Make it equal to 0, yeah. So bring the 800 across to the left where it's a minus. Now before we even factorise, what else might it be a good idea to do here, because those numbers are quite big? Yep, divide everything by 5. How many 5s are there in 800? 160. Okay. Now, if you were trying to factorise this, you'd need two numbers that times together to make 160, and add or take to get 3. And if you can think of any of those, you're better than me.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, no. So, what's our other strategy if factorising isn't going to work? Formula, yeah, okay. So the formula, I'll use n here instead of x because it is in terms of n. It's minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac square rooted all over 2a. What's my a, what's my b, what's my c? A is,
1.
yeah, b is, good, c is, yeah, okay. So, stick that in your calculator. See what you get for your n value. Can anybody tell me the value inside the square root sign? That might be a final answer in a minute. Okay, did anybody have this value inside the square root sign? 649. Okay, thank you, Rosie. So, you've got an answer of 11.2. There should be two answers there in a quadratic.
You should make these touchscreens so you can...
Would be useful. Yeah, it's negative something, and there's a negative one. I'm not even going to bother writing it down. I just wanted to mention it because the negative one, you cannot have a negative number of terms. So we actually didn't need to do that. We are only interested in the positive one. So to get to 400, we needed n to be 11.2. We needed 11.2 terms in our sequence. We can't have 11.2 terms. So how many terms do we actually need then to exceed? Yeah, we actually need 12 terms, yeah. So 12 terms are needed. And that 12 is the answer. So 12 terms are needed.